Right. Okay. Fine. Okay. So basically, we will be discussing some papers, some paper questions with regard to the revision program, which is basically FCA. So just to cross check with you, so how many people are there basically who are not physically participated to physical class? ඊදෙනෙක් ඉන්නවනේ physically අපේ class එකට participate කරමු නැති. So one student is saying, sir, not clear. Manoj, make band not clear කියන ඒවාට. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
හරිද එහෙනවලු උදාහරණයක්? Right. Okay. Fine. So basically, with the time limitations and everything, I don't think we do have the liberty to discuss the entire paper, but we'll try to discuss as much as possible. So just to give you a brief heads up for the people who are not physically came to my class, because if I'm not mistaken, we learning English medium AAT final has done by some other lecturer, whereas physically I'm conducting the class at JMC. So for the benefit of all the people who, whether you physically presented or not, just to recap with regard to the paper structure while taking 1 or 2 minutes. So basically, as you already know, we have 3 sections in your paper. So we have section 1, and we have section 2, and we have section 3. So these are the main 3 sections of your paper, where section 1 consists of 4 questions, where you will be having 5 marks for each questions. So your total would be 20 marks. Then when you come to section 2, you will be having 3 questions, 10 marks each. You will be getting 30 marks. Whereas section 3, you will be having 2 questions, 25 marks for a question, so altogether 50 marks. So this is how your paper has been structured. So three sections are there. So altogether there are 9 questions. Out of 9, entire 9 has to be answered. So then in order to pass the exam, you need to score at least 50% to pass the exam. And when you look at from section 1 perspective, I would say it is 100% theory. So theories which you are learning in the classroom will be tested as it is at the exam. Section 2 is a combination of theory plus practical applications. Section 2 is basically a theory and practical application. And section 3, I would say it's 100% practical. So this is how your paper has been structured, and the areas has been tested previously as well. So section 1 would be 100% theory, section 2 would be a theory plus practical, combination of those two, and I would say section 3 is 100% practical. Applications will be tested in section 3. And if you want to pass the exam, as per my understanding, out of this 50 marks, you need to score at least minimum 40. මේ ලකුණු 50ක් තියෙනවානේ section 1 and 2 වල. ඒතර ඒ දෙකේ ලකුණු 50න් ලකුණු 40ක් දාන්නම අවශ්‍යයි ඔයාට exam එක pass වෙන්න අවශ්‍යයි නම්. So I basically explain all these in the theory class, so I'm not going to repeat all this stuff. So basically if you obtain 40 or more than 40 for your section 1 and section 2, basically you should not worry about the exam, because from section 3 you need to get only 10 marks to pass the exam. But if you are in between 30 to 40 in your section 1 and 2, if you are in between 30 to 40, I would say you are in the middle. ඔයාට මේ ලකුණු 50න් 30ක් 40ක් අතර නම් තියෙන්නේ. ලකුණු 50 පාස් මාක් එක එන්න මම හිතනවා වැට උඩ වගේ ඉන්නේ. But if you obtain less than 30 marks, less than 30 marks for your paper means for section 1 and section 2, that means you are going to fail the exam. මොකද මෙතන ලකුණු 50න් ලකුණු 30ට වඩා අඩුවෙන් දාලා section 3 එකේ ලකුණු score කරනවා කියන එක පොඩ්ඩක් practically අමාරු වැඩක්. So therefore in order to pass the exam, better if you can obtain more than 40 marks for section 1 and section 2, because that can be done, because 100% theory will be tested as section 1 and section 2 as well, theory plus theory plus practical aspects as well. So if you can get more than 40 or at least minimum 40 for section 1 and section 2, then you should not worry about the exam. Right, so basically these are the main contents which I wanted to discuss with all of you with regard to the paper structure. We have been having a detailed discussion in our theory class as well with regard to those areas. And when you look at from the practical perspective, at the end of this session, I will be highlighting the key areas where you wanted your attention needs to be devoted to. අපි දවස මේ program එකේ අන්තිම හරියේදී මම කියන්නම් ඕගොල්ලන්ට මොන areasද exam එකේදී frequently test කරලා තියෙන කියලා. For section 1 what are the areas, for section 2 what are the areas, and for section 3 as well. So we'll see what are the areas which has been tested. Right, so are we clear on this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, so we'll straight away, because we don't have the liberty to discuss the entire paper today itself. So I'll try my level best to give the answers if you want, and you can contact me at any given point of time, whether you physically came or not, whether you bought the V-Learning packages of JMC, or whether you are coming from somewhere else. You can contact me, so I'll give my contact details as well to all of you. So we'll focus on question section B first. Section B, question number 5. Section B, question number 5. Have you got the paper to your hand? Have you received the paper? Right. Okay, so we'll go to question number 5 and we'll go to question number 6, and let's see what are the questions that we can discuss in the classroom itself. Right. So question number 5. So it is basically a clear a clear question where theory has been converted to application and has been tested in the exam. Right. You are the senior in charge of the audit of Nalin Associates, a firm of chartered accountants, which conducts the audit of the financial statements of Malsara Private Limited for the year ended 31st December 2024. Right. So when you received a question like this, first of all, you need to analyze the question. So you are basically the auditor of a company called Malsara Private Limited, where your accounting period is ended from 31st December 2024. Right, 31st December 2024 is the year-end date, whereas then the accounting period starts from 1st of January 2024. So basically the period which you are auditing is basically 2024 financial year. The following information was included in the audit file. Audit materiality used at the planning stage was 1.7 million based on profit. Right, so they have calculated the audit materiality. Which is basically 1.7 million. So once you see this word audit materiality, you need to identify the standard which has been tested. So that is SLA US 320 audit materiality. Right, the company completed the construction of an office building on 1st of October 2024. So the company completed the construction of the office building on 1st of October 2024. That means during this financial year, 1st of October 2024, they have constructed and they have completed the company building. That means when you're starting from the beginning of the financial year, 9 months, and you have 3 months as well. Right. And it was available for use from that date onwards. That would be the most critical part. From this date onwards, the asset is available for use. This asset is available for use. So once you see this word, you need to identify the accounting standard which has been tested here. That is basically LK 16, property, plant and equipments. PPN standard එක පැහැදිලිව කියනවා asset එකක් depreciate කරන්න ඕනේ when the asset is available for use. So that is the area which is going to test at the exam now. The cost of the construction of this building was rupees 120 million. Right, so the cost is basically 120 million. 120 million. The building were depreciated over 30 years on the straight line basis at cost. So the building are depreciated for 30 years on straight line basis. Right, so then in that context, what would be the per year depreciation? So what would be the per year depreciation? අවුරුද්දට depreciation කොච්චරක් එනවාද? How much is that? How much is that? It's basically 4 million. So the annual depreciation is 4 million. Right. For this financial year, so what should be the applicable depreciation amount? So annual depreciation is 4 million. So 120 divided by 30 years for a year, annual depreciation is 4 million. But here, the asset is available for you starting from 1st of October 2024 onwards. That means this year, there has to be a depreciation charge of 3 million. Sorry, there has to be a depreciation charge for a period of 3 months. So in that context, what would be the applicable depreciation for this financial year? Applicable depreciation for 2024. How much is the applicable depreciation amount? That is basically 1 million. 1 million depreciation has to be charged to PNL. මේක PNL එකට charge කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් question එකක් ගත්තම මේක analyze කරන්න පුරුදු වෙන්න. 1 million has to charge to PNL. Right. And the new building, the office building was opened in January 2025 and the depreciation was charged from that date by the company. That is the point. The new office building was opened on 1st of January 2025. මේ building එක open කරලා තියෙන්නේ 1st of January 2025. And the depreciation has been charged from this date onwards. So in that context, there is an under depreciation of building which is amounting to how much? 1 million. Under depreciation of building for 1 million. Right. For the students who presented to the physical class, this mistake is identified as which mistake? So there is under depreciation of building which is amounted to 1 million. This is identified as detected but not corrected. Okay, detected by who? Detected by the auditor. Not corrected by who? Corrected by the management. So there is an error of rupees 1 million. Agree? So that would be a significant part in this question. Right. Then coming back to the second point. The company has capitalized the borrowing cost of rupees 1.5 million from 1st of October 2024 to 31st December 2024 on the new building. Then there is another issue. For this 3 months period, the company capitalized the borrowing cost. Capitalized the borrowing cost. Which is amounting to how much? 1.5 million rupees. Now they are going to test what? They are going to test LKS 23. Remember, audit paper will be tested with the practical application of accounting as well. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න පුතා audit paper එක check කරන්නේ accounting applications උත් එක්ක. So if you don't know the accounting standards, it's quite difficult for you to answer the audit paper. So there is a capitalization of borrowing cost, which is amounting to 1.5 million. They have already capitalized. My question is, as per LKS 23, can you capitalize this 1.5 million borrowing cost for this 3 months period? No, you can't, because LKS 23 specifically saying you can capitalize the borrowing cost for a qualifying asset, but this asset is available for use from 1st of October onwards. So in that context, for this 3 months period, you cannot capitalize this borrowing cost. It has to be charged to where? Charged to PNL. Make a PNL charge end. This one also identified as any question? Right. Okay. This error also identified as an error which is detected by the auditor but not corrected in the financials. So here, two practical applications are tested while collating to a auditing standard as well. So, right. So in that context, so what would be the first one? Under depreciation of fixed asset. Under depreciation of building. Right. Amounting to 1 million. Number two, borrowing cost. Borrowing cost, capitalization. Amounts to how much? It's 1.5 million. Right. Now you need to ask a question. When you take all these two errors as separate errors, when you take all these two errors as separate errors, is it material? Is it material? මේ වැරදි දෙක අපි වෙන වෙනම ගත්තොත් ඒක materialද? Because your initial material level comes to 1.7 million. Where the error number 1, the impact is 1 million, which is less than the material level, and the error number 2, the amount is, the value of the uncorrected misstatement is 1.5 million, again less than the 1.7 million material level. So when you take all these two errors, misstatements individually, those are not material. You need to understand this word, individually. Individually, not material. We discuss all these stuff in our physical class. But when you take all these errors together, if not the aggregate, when you take all these two errors aggregated, is it material? It's material, because uncorrected misstatement value is how much? It comes to 2.5 million, where your initial material level goes up to which level? 1.7. So in that context, even though when you take these two instances separately, it is not material, but when you take all these together, which is material. That is the question which has been tested in the question itself. Are we clear? Yes or no? Huda, you need to speak. Yes or no? Right. So what the question says? Assess the above matters in the audit opinion of Malsar Private Limited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2024. 5 marks. So what should be your answer? In that context, you need to explain all this stuff. So in first instance, you have under depreciation of fixed asset, which is amounting to 1 million, where the company's accounting treatment for this rupees 1 million is not in line with LK 16. So therefore, there is a under depreciation of building, which is amounting to 1 million, which is detected by the auditor but not corrected by the management. Then the second scenario, the accounting principle application, which the company has used, which is not in line with LKS 23. So the company has capitalized the borrowing cost for a period of 3 months, which is amounting to 1.5 million. But ideally, this has to be charged to P&L. So when you take all these two misstatements individually, those are not material. But when you take all these together, which exceeds the initially decided material level of how much? 1.7 million. Are we clear? තේරුණාද? Yes or no? Others, are we clear? Right. Okay. What is the second question? Second question. Recognize the type of audit opinion to be expressed if the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. What is that question? Recognize the type of audit opinion to be expressed if the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. So if the auditor fails to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, so what would be the opinion type? It has to be modified opinion, and you need to check whether that impact, whether it is material or pervasive both. If it is material and pervasive both, you will go for a disclaimer of opinion, and if it is material only, not pervasive, you will go for what? You will go for a qualified opinion. So that has been tested while covering SLA US 700. So are we clear on this? මේක තේරුණාද? Okay, do I need to give the answer or can you take down on your own? Do I need to give the answer or can you take down on your own?
Sir, can you
Sir,
give
can
the
you give the
answer?
answer?
Sorry?
Sir, can you give the answer?
Right, okay, fine. So anyone who wanted to take a picture of this, so take a picture so that it will have a clear understanding when you are doing this paper once again. Tagala screenshot tag ගහගන්න. Okay, got it? Right. Now you need to learn how to write for the answers as well. So let me summarize in this way. Right. Okay. So we'll take down the answer for question number 5, section A. Section A. Right. So we'll take down the answer based on the facts given in the question. Based on the facts given in the questions. Based on the facts given in the question. The following concerns arise. Number one, under depreciation of building which is amounting to 1 million. You need to learn how to answer the question as well. Under depreciation of building amounts to 1 million. Right. So once you highlighted that main concern, better if you can explain as well, because the examiner has been allocated 5 marks for this question. Right. So we'll take down we'll explain that issue accordingly. As per case 16, the business organization should depreciate the assets. The business organization should depreciate their fixed assets. When the asset is available for use. When the asset is available for use. when the asset is available for you. So when you're answering for these types of questions, always give the reference to the respective accounting standard or whatever the theories which has been tested in the paper. Okay, when the asset is available for use. As per the given scenario, since the construction has been completed, as per the given scenario, since the construction has been completed, since the construction has been completed, since the construction has been completed, on 1st of October 2024, on 1st of October 2024, the company should depreciated this building. The company should depreciated this building. The company should depreciated this building for a period of 3 months. For a period of 3 months. For a period of 3 months. For 2024 financial year. For 2024 financial year. Starting from 1st of October 2024. Starting from 1st of October 2024. Starting from 1st of October 2024. However, as per the given facts, as per the given facts, as per the given facts, the company commenced the depreciation. Company commenced the depreciation from 1st of January 2025 onwards. From 1st of January 2025 onwards. Right. Scenario number 2, second issue. Capitalization of borrowing cost. Capitalization of borrowing cost, which is amounting to 1.5 million rupees. Which is amounting to 1.5 million rupees. Right, so we'll explain that as well. As per the information provided, as per the information provided, as per the information provided, the company capitalized a borrowing cost. The company capitalized a borrowing cost. The company capitalized a borrowing cost, which is amounting to rupees 1.5 million. Which is amounting to rupees 1.5 million. For the final quarter of 2024, for the final quarter of 2024, which is not in line, which is not in line, which is not in line with LKS 23. With LKS 23. With LKS 23. With LKS 23. As per LKS 23. As per LKS 23. The business organization can capitalize the borrowing cost. Business organization can capitalize the borrowing cost. Can capitalize the borrowing cost. Only applicable for qualifying assets. Only applicable for qualifying assets. Therefore, therefore, the company shouldn't capitalize. Therefore, the company shouldn't capitalize borrowing cost. Borrowing cost from 1st of October onwards. From 1st of October onwards. Since the construction has been completed. Since the construction has been completed. Therefore, this amount should charge to P&L. Should charge to P&L. Right, so we basically explain the two scenarios. Right, we'll come to the final para. When we consider these two misstatements individually, when we consider these two misstatements individually, when we consider these two misstatements individually, it is not exceeding the initial material level of initial material level of 1.7 million rupees. However, when we consider both misstatements together, within brackets you can say in aggregate, close brackets. It is material to the financial statements. Which is material to the financial statements. Therefore, if the management is not willing to rectify these misstatements in the financial statements, if the management is not in agreement to rectify these misstatements in the financial statements, the auditor has to modify the audit opinion. The auditor has to modify the opinion. Under the scenario of disagreement with management. Under the scenario of disagreement with management. Under the scenario of disagreement with management. Right. So are we clear the answer? Are we clear on the answer?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. This is how you need to tackle the exam questions. Remember, examiner will not give you 6 marks to this question. Examiner always try to reduce marks. ඒක නිසා paper එක බලන කෙනා පුතා හැමදෙස්සෙම බලන්න ඔයාගේ ලකුණු අඩු කරා. Then your answer has to be a perfect answer where the person who is marking the paper should not have any, what do you call it, any opportunity to reduce your marks. ඒක නිසා ඔයාගේ උත්තරේ හරි perfect විදිහට ලියන්න ඕනේ. So that is a classic example with regard to the theory plus an application as well. Right. So we'll go to the second option. Second option again, I උත්තරේ දෙන්න මම chart එකක් ගහනවා so that you can take down the chart. So because I have been discuss this chart with my physical class students. Recognize the type of audit opinion to be expressed if the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. So that has been tested from SLA US 700. SLA US 700. 700 කිව්වට මේක අපි ගොඩාක් standards ඇතුලේ කතා කරා. Right. So when you look at from the broader perspective, right. So let's say, okay, you may have a disagreement with management. Disagreement with management. Then the other instance is scope limitation. Disagreement with management plus the scope limitation. Right. Material but not pervasive. Number 2, both material and pervasive. Both material and pervasive, right? So disagreement with management, material but not pervasive. You will go for what? Qualified audit opinion. You will go for a qualified opinion, qualified audit opinion. Disagreement with management, material but not pervasive. You will go for a qualified opinion. මේක තමයි අපි ඉගෙන ගත්ත class එකේ except for. Right, disagreement with management, both material and pervasive. Then you go for an adverse audit opinion. Adverse audit opinion. Here the auditor is saying the financial statements what? Do not give a true and fair view. Do not give a true and fair view. Right. So this is a summary. Right, scope limitation. Material but not pervasive. Again you go for a qualified opinion. Again you go for a qualified opinion. Same except for. Except for. Right, scope limitation, both material and pervasive. You go for a disclaimer of opinion. You go for a disclaimer of opinion where you are saying auditor is not in a position to express an opinion. or it is not in a position to express an opinion. In the opinion itself, you are saying that you are not in a position to express an opinion. So this is basically a summary where you need to critically understand and at the exam. So what do you mean by a scope limitation in simple language? අපි ඒකත් summarize කරමු. මේ ඔක්කොම theory පන්තියේ කතා කරා. Okay, so what do you mean by scope limitation? It is a situation where auditor unable to perform the audit procedures as expected. It is a situation where the auditor is unable to perform audit procedures as expected. So what do you mean by disagreement with management? What do you mean by disagreement with management? It is a situation where the auditor is not in agreement with management with regard to what? Application of accounting standard, application of accounting policy, or related what? Disclosures. So those are we discuss. මේ summary එක ඔයාලට හොඳටම exam එකේදී මතක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So question number B is basically tested from this area. If you do have a scope limitation, what you are going to do? So the first question that you need to ask is this scope limitation material but not pervasive? Make a material විතරද pervasive නැද්ද? Then you go for a qualified opinion. If the scope limitation is both material and pervasive, you go for a disclaimer of opinion. Are we clear? Yes or no? Right. Okay, good. Right. So just to take a overall understanding, just wave the hands, the students who are basically not physically participated to the class, but they purchased the V-learning one. අපේ physical class එකට එන්නේ તો V-learning ගත්ත කඩ්ඩිය පොඩ්ඩක්. බලන්න මට identify කරගන්න කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද කියලා. Okay, altogether how many people? No, it's 11, 12. 13. Manoj, මේ චුට්ටක් ලැප් එක උස්සලා තියන්න බැරිද මට? ඒතර මේගොල්ලෝ දාන කමෙන්ට්ස් පේනවා නැත්තම් බලන්න ඕනේ. පුටුවක් තියලා හරි කවන්නේ මේ හරි. නැත්තම් මෙතන තිබ්බත් කවන්නේ නැහැ. Right. So okay, so I'll give my number to all of you at the end of the class so that whoever the people who has not physically participated to our physical class, you can contact me at any given point of time, and you can speak to the people who has basically came to the physical class, because we prepared short notes and we prepared mastermind maps and we did everything which we can do at the classroom. Right. Okay, fine. Okay, so there is a question. It is basically about misstatement of depreciation, so that can we say the auditor can give a qualified opinion since it is not pervasive for question number A. Right. So in that context, basically there are two issues. Clear? So basically there are two issues. Number one, depreciation, and number two, interest capitalization. Okay, so in that context, you need to decide whether it is material plus pervasive. Okay, so if it is material but not pervasive, you can go for a qualified opinion. But if it is material and pervasive both, you may go for a adverse opinion. So in these two instances, I would say better to go for a qualified opinion rather than you go for a adverse. Go to question number 6. Right, again bit of a complicated question. Okay, ABC PLC is a quoted public company operated in the export industry, and the company exports its product to different customers who located in Europe. As per the latest available bill of lading, the company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the current financial year, and the company recognizes the revenue based on the export invoice, which has been raised during the current financial year. As per the signed import and export agreement, the risk and rewards of the goods will be transferred to the customer upon ABC handing over the goods to the shipping company to export. However, when you highlighted this point to the finance manager of ABC PLC, he has shared a letter. He has handed over a letter to you signed by the clearing agent of ABC company stating that the goods were handed over to the shipping company during the financial year. Bit of a complex situation. So then you need to analyze the question. So there is a company called ABC PLC. ABC PLC. They are basically in the export industry. Export industry. And the company exports its product to different customers located in Europe. European customers ලට බාණ්ඩ export කරනවා. They are exporting. As per the latest available bill of lading, the company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the current financial year. So basically, they are exporting the goods via the sea. Okay, so let's say this is the harbor. නෙවින් තමයි බඩු ටික යවන්නේ. Right. So as per the bill of lading, the company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the current financial year. Right. So the question itself not mentioned the particular financial year, so we'll assume. Right. So we'll assume 1st of April 2023 and ending from 31st March 2024. So let's say the accounting period which you are going to audit is 23-24 financial year. Right. So as per the bill of lading, company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the current financial year. Right. Okay. So as per bill of lading, the company handed over the goods after the financial year. Financial year එකෙන් පස්සේ තමයි goods hand over කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒතකොට bill of lading එකේ දවස not in the current financial year, basically 2024-25 financial year. Right. Now the question arises and the other question. And the company recognizes the revenue based on the export invoice which has been raised during the financial year. That would be the critical part. The company recognizes the revenue based on the export invoice. Based on the export invoice. Company revenue recognized based on the export invoice. Right. My question is, Is this correct? Is this correct? As per the bill of lading, the goods handed over to the shipping company after the financial year, where the company recognizes the revenue based on the export invoice which has been raised during the financial year. During the year. Right. Then you need to ask a question whether the revenue recognition is correct. Revenue recognition is correct. That is a question that you need to ask. Bill of lading එක තියෙනකොට අවුරුද්දෙන් මේ අවුරුද්දෙන් පස්සේ කියලා export invoice එක මේ අවුරුද්දේ දාලා තියෙන revenue එක ගත්ත එක හරියි. But you can't answer for that question unless otherwise you read the rest of the question. As per the signed import and export agreement, the risk and rewards of the goods will be transferred to the customer upon ABC handing over the goods to the shipping company to export. When you are recognizing a revenue, so what would be the primary condition? You need to transfer the risk and rewards. Risk and rewards to the customer. The company should recognize as the revenue when the risk and rewards transfer to the customer. Now the question arises, risk and rewards will be transferred whether it is at the export invoice date or the BOL date. So as per the agreement, as per the signed import and export agreement, the risk and rewards of the goods will transfer to the customer upon ABC handing over the goods to the shipping company to export. As per the import and export agreement, risk and rewards will be transferred at the BOL date. As per the agreement, risk and rewards transferred upon the company hand over the goods. Hand over the goods. So then what would be the primary condition? The point where the company recognize the revenue is wrong. That is the number one point, the first point. The point where the company recognizes the revenue is wrong. Company recognizes the revenue based on the export invoice. Ideally, it should be recognized based on the bill of lading date. Clear? Then the timing. Rather than we say the point, we'll say the mechanism. Rather than we say the point, we'll say the mechanism. Mechanism. Then you need to ask a question, the timing. The time. So in that context, based on the given scenario, ideally the revenue should be recognized in 2024-25 financial year, whereas the company recognizes the revenue, whereas the company recognize the revenue in the year under review. In the year under review. So now you have two issues here. Number one, methodology also wrong. Plus number two, timing also wrong. Clear? Right. However, when you highlighted this point to the finance manager of ABC PLC, he has handed over a letter to you signed by the clearing agent of ABC company stating that the goods were handed over to the shipping company during the financial year. Once you highlighted this issue to the finance manager of this company, once you highlighted this issue to the finance manager of this company, the company gave a letter through the clearing agent stating that the goods handed over to the shipping company during the financial year. Once you highlighted this issue to the finance manager of this company, he has given a letter to you through the clearing agent, and that clearing agent is telling that we have handed over the goods to the shipping company during the financial year. Clear? So that's what the question is. You are the auditor of ABC PLC and you need to critically evaluate the above scenario. Right. Okay. Any guesses from which standard this question has been tested? From which standard this question has been tested? Any guesses? Okay, SLFRS 15 is something, right? I'm asking the auditing standard. From which standard this has been tested? This is basically tested from SLS 500. මේ question එක test කරලා තියෙන SLS 500. What is SLS 500? Audit evidence. Audit evidence. We spend more than 8 hours in our classroom to discuss this standard. We spend more than 8 hours in our physical class to discuss this standard. This has been tested from audit evidence. So when you go to my tute, I wanted all of you to read SLAS 500 and you go to the final heading where I mentioned 2 important points. Physical පන්තර ආපු කට්ටිය ගන්න ටියුට් එක අතර ළඟ තියෙනවා නම්. There are 2 important points. That is basically the final subheading of the standard. 2 important points. Read the first one. What is the first one said? When you are conducting an audit as an auditor, you need to obtain audit evidences through various sources. It may be from internal, external. It may be from written, oral. You may be obtaining direct, indirect. You need to obtain audit evidences from various sources. Audit evidences which you are obtaining from one source, if it is get contradicted with the audit evidences obtained from another source, that is the point where you need to devote your attention in full. I'm repeating that again and again and again. Read the tute and see. Auditor has to obtain audit evidences from various sources, and if the audit evidences obtained from one source is getting contradicted with the audit evidences obtained from another source, it is a situation where you need to devote your attention in full. What is that application here? The BOL says, bill of lading says, the company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the financial year. Bill of lading says that the company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the financial year, whereas the letter provided by the clearing agent said that no, we have handed over the goods to the shipping company during the financial year. 2 documents are given, 2 contradicted audit evidences. Bill of lading එක කියනවා goods hand over කරේ accounting period එකෙන් පස්සේ clearing agent දුන්න letter එක කියනවා නෑ මම goods hand over කරේ accounting period එක ඇතුළත. So you have obtained audit evidences from 2 sources, 2 set of documents. Those are contradicted to each other. That is number 1. That is the first point which has been tested in the question. Number 2, when you consider the bill of lading versus the clearing agent letter, what is the letter which is having more reliability? Is it the bill of lading or the clear intention letter? It has to be the bill of lading. Why? It is an audit evidence as it is an audit evidence obtained from which source? External source. Which is an audit evidence obtained from external sources. Even though a letter issued by a clearing agent has to be considered as an internal source. It has to be considered as internal source because clearing agent will have a direct link with the company as well. So in that context, when you put these two documents to two sides, I would say the bill of lading is having much more reliability because it is considered as external audit evidence. So when you are comparing audit evidences, now you need to go to the topic called reliability of audit evidence in the same tute itself. So we discuss over and over and over and over and again, audit evidences obtained through external sources are much more reliable than the audit evidences obtained through internal sources. That is the second point which has been tested in this question itself. So there are three areas to be covered when you're answering for these types of questions. Number one, you need to cover the accounting application, revenue recognition, revenue recognition. Number two, you need to cover what? Audit evidence. Clear? So when you're answering, basically you need to cover up these two areas. Are we clear on the question? Are we clear on the question? ප්‍රශ්නේ තේරුණාද? Time is flying, you need to answer.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Fine. Okay, do you need the answer or can you take down the answer on your own?
So could you share the answer?
Okay, so the time is 25 minutes past 8. Okay, so we'll take down the answer. That's okay. So we'll take down the answer. But I don't think I don't think that I'm having the liberty to discuss the entire paper. So let's see where we are heading to. Okay, so I wanted all of you to try the paper, whether you are coming, whether you basically physically came or not, but I wanted all of you to try this paper and contact me if you need any clarifications, right? So we'll take down the answer. Okay, based on the given, okay, take a picture of this. Make a picture of a gun. This is how you need to analyze the questions in the paper itself. Okay, someone is asking with regard to emphasis of matter and other matter paragraph. So that is not applicable for this question, but do call me after the class, I'll explain. Right. Okay, based on the given scenario, 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 there are two issues with regard to the revenue recognition. There are two issues with regard to revenue recognition. Right. Number one, the mechanism where the company, the mechanism where the company, the mechanism where the company recognizes the revenue recognizes the revenue. Recognizes the revenue. And the timing of the revenue recognition. And the timing of the revenue recognition. And the timing of the revenue recognition. Based on Sri Lanka accounting standards. Based on Sri Lanka accounting standards. If not as per the accounting standards. As per the accounting standards. The business organization should recognize the revenue. Business organizations should recognize the revenue. Business organizations should recognize the revenue. When the risk and rewards, when the risk and rewards, when the risk and rewards, when the risk and rewards transfer to the customer. Transfer to the customer. As per the given scenario, as per the given scenario, as per the given scenario, the risk and rewards of the item exports, the risk and rewards of the item exports, risk and rewards of the items exports, as per the given scenario, the risk and rewards of the items export will be transferred to the end customer, will be transferred to the end customer once the goods handed over to the shipping agent. Once the goods handed over to the shipping agent. Once the goods handed over to the shipping agent. Once the goods handed over to the shipping agent. So therefore, the company should recognize as the revenue based on the bill of lading. Therefore, the company should recognize as the revenue based on bill of lading. However, based on the above scenario, based on the above scenario, based on the above scenario, the recognition of revenue based on the export invoice, the recognition of revenue based on the export invoice is incorrect. Is incorrect. Is incorrect. Number 2, timing of the revenue recognition. Number 2, timing of the revenue recognition. Timing of the revenue recognition. Timing of the revenue recognition. Right. Since the goods have been handed over, since the goods have been handed over, after the financial year, after the current financial year, the revenue should have been recognized. The revenue should have been recognized. The revenue should have been recognized in the next financial year. The revenue should have been recognized in the next financial year. The revenue should have been recognized in the next financial year. However, recognition of revenue in the year under review. However, the recognition of revenue in the year under review seems to be incorrect. Seems to be incorrect. Seems to be incorrect. Seems to be incorrect. Right. So basically, you explain the accounting issue there. We'll go to the third para. Based on the audit evidences obtained through the letter of the clearing agent, based on the audit evidences obtained through the letter of the clearing agent, resulted a contradicted situation. 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 In terms of the sources of the audit evidences obtained. In terms of the sources of the audit evidence obtained. In terms of the sources of the audit evidences obtained. As special is 200, sorry, as special is 500. As special is 500. As special is 500. The auditor should obtain audit evidences. The auditor should obtain audit evidences through various sources. Through various sources. And if one audit evidence obtained from one source, if an audit evidence obtained from one source is contradicted to a audit evidence obtained from another source, contradicted to audit evidence obtained from another source. It is a situation where the auditor's attention needs to be devoted to. It is a situation where the auditor's attention needs to be devoted to. Devoted to. Apart from that, apart from that, apart from that, apart from that, when we analyze the reliability, apart from that, when we analyze the reliability of the two sources, of the two sources, of the two sources, auditor has to put more weightage. Auditor has to put more weightage. Auditor has to put more weightage. Auditor has to put more weightage on the bill of lading, on the bill of lading, rather than the letter issued by the clearing agent. Rather than the letter issued by the clearing agent. Issued by the clearing agent. Because of the fact that because of the fact that audit evidences obtained through external sources, audit evidences obtained through external sources, because of the fact that audit evidences obtained through external sources are more reliable than the audit evidences obtained through internal sources. Through internal sources. Right. Okay, are we clear on the answer?
Yes, sir.
Right, good. Okay, so we'll go to the question number B. We have another 15 to 20 minutes to go. Okay, we'll go to question number B. Sufficient and appropriateness are interrelated. It is applicable to audit evidences obtained through risk assessment procedures, test of controls, and substantive procedures. So once you read the sentence, you need to identify the area which is going to test. SLAS 500. Audit evidence. Sufficient is applicable to quantity of the audit evidences obtained and the appropriateness is applicable to relevance, quality and reliability of the audit evidences obtained. When conducting the audits, the auditor should obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences from various sources covering each and every applicable assertion. In practical, the auditor may obtain audit evidences from various sources to cover the same assertion. All these things we discuss in the classroom itself. Right. Some sources are within the direct control of the auditor and some are don't. Some sources are within the control of the auditor and some are don't. Okay, so what do you mean by some sources are within the direct control of the auditor and some are don't? When you are conducting an audit, there are several ways that you can obtain audit evidences. Right. So, what would be the first one? Audit evidences generated by the auditor via external sources. Audit evidence generated by the auditor via external sources. විගණක වරයා බාහිර මූලාශ්‍රයන් තුලින් ලබා ගන්න සාක්ෂි. The audit evidence generated by the auditor directly via external sources. For an example, debtors, creditors, bank confirmations. Audit evidence are generated by the auditor directly via external source. Basically, this comes under the direct control of the auditor. Direct control of the auditor. Right. What is number 2? Audit evidences generated by the auditor by his or her own. Audit evidence generated by the auditor by his or her own. විගණකවරයා තමා විසින්ම ජනනය කරගන්නාලද සාක්ෂි. Example, independent calculation of depreciation to check the accuracy of depreciation calculations of the client. Independent calculation of depreciation to check the accuracy of the depreciation calculation from the client. Again, this also comes under the direct control because auditor ma තමයි මේව හදාගන්නේ. Direct control of the auditor. Number 3, audit evidences generated by the auditor via the client. Client හරහා ගන්න සාක්ෂි. Example, forecast, budgets, invoices, receipts, etc. Where this one, auditor is not having a direct control. Direct control. Right. Therefore, Therefore, when considering the reliability and the quality of the audit evidences, auditor has to look different aspects based on the sources of the audit evidences obtained. Right. So when you look at from these three perspectives, I would say this will be having the highest reliability and the quality. Why? Why? Externally generated audit evidences. Generated audit evidences. By the auditor. This one, second one, audit evidence are generated by the auditor by his or her own. Compared to externally generated audit evidences. That means compared to this lesser reliability and quality, but better than internal sources. Better than this. මේකට වඩා හොඳයි. මේකට වඩා අඩුයි but මේකට වඩා හොඳයි. Number 3. Audit evidence are generated by the auditor via the client. Compared to about two sources, this will have lesser reliability and quality. Are we clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you want to rank this, I would prefer number 1 here, number 2 here, and I'll go to number 3 here. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. While considering the reliability and the quality of the audit evidences obtained from various sources, while giving examples, you require to critically evaluate the above mentioned scenario. This would be the answer. මේක තමයි question එකට answer එක. Right. Take down it. Take down this. This is how exactly theories are tested through applications. මෙහෙම තමයි පුතා exam එකේදී ඔයාගේ theories test කරන්න with the applications. So you better get ready. මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න exam එකට එන්න පුළුවන්. Right, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions? Any questions? We have another 10 minutes to go. Any questions? Right. තේරුණාද ප්‍රශ්නයක් tackle කරගන්න විදිය? Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? Basically, I think the students who physically came to our physical class are more familiarized with the way of you tackling the question. So I'm just asking this from the for the benefit of the students who basically purchase the V-Learning pack and who has not physically came to our physical class. So are we clear on this of how to tackle the paper? Because based on the information which I received, there are more than 15 students who has not physically participated for our classes, but they basically purchases the V-Learning pack. Right. Okay, someone wanted to take a picture of this, so therefore they wanted me to move out from the screen. Okay, took the picture? Got it? Right. Okay. So the time is flying. Right. Okay, all the students who are basically physically participated to our lectures. So I wanted all of them to try the paper, this paper. So if the time permits on the last week, I will be discussing these questions as well. Okay, physical පන්තිරේ next week would be our last class no. So I will be discussing the latest paper. එහෙනම් අපිට කලින් තිබිච්ච අන්තිම paper එක මම කතා කරනවා. So that I wanted all of you to write answers to the nearest paper. ඒකයි මේ paper එකත් කරන්න if the time permits. I will be discussing the balance questions as well, which comes under section C. Right. Okay. Okay. Before we come to that, I have already given these areas where the possible questions might come. So if someone can share that document in this setup for the benefit of all the people who has not participated physically to our class, can someone share a screenshot of the latest note which I already gave to you for the benefit of the others? මං ගිය සතියේ දුන්නේ මෙන්න මේ areas test කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා exam එකේ. The probable theories which might be tested at the exam. So for an example, quality control. So when you analyze the past papers, so always question number 4 came from quality control. So we are expecting the same thing this time as well. So likewise, I have given you the areas where your attention needs to be devoted to on last week. Okay, can someone share that document with for the benefit of the other students as well? ඒක share කරනවද කවුරු හරි? If someone is having that. Okay, someone can WhatsApp me so that I'll ask the management to share that with you all. If someone can share that document or the picture, so that I'll ask management to share that in the WhatsApp group or in Teams as well. Right. Okay. And apart from that, for the benefit of all the students, okay, already shared quality control, risk management framework, assurance engagement, corporate governance, ethical requirements, internal controls, audit report, then related SLA USS 500, 240, 200, sorry, 320, 570, 580, 230, 300 and 315. So those are the main areas where you need to devote your attention, because for an example, you will be getting a full question from internal controls from section C, which is 25 marks. Then quality control definite question is there. The risk management framework plus corporate governance, assurance engagement, and corporate ethics, or sorry, professional ethics. Again, 10 marks for sure. So likewise, there are so many probable areas where I highlighted in the physical class. So I wanted all the other students as well to create a link with one of the students in the physical class, so that they will basically gives you the areas where attention needs to be devoted to. And yes, and last time as well, we created the mind map where we have shared with the physical students, so that one of, if someone can share that as well, and I think it will be really helpful to the online people as well. Right. So basically, when you look at from the broader perspective, so those are the areas which will be tested at the exam, and mainly focus on those areas where I would say more than 80% of the paper will be consist of all these areas, right? So therefore, therefore I wanted all of your attention needs to be devoted to those areas. Right. So in that context, so I'll give my number to all of you. If you do have any question with regard to the subject matter, whether you physically came or not, you can contact me at any given point of time. You can call me as well. So I'll more than happy to assist you for you to get past this exam. So my number is not 779 539 969 and not 775 421 927. So through these two numbers, you can connect me at any given point of time. So then apart from that, let me discuss with management, because next week would be our last week and we will be discussing the nearest paper, and anyone who is willing to join for the final day, whether physical people will definitely come, but the people who has already purchased the e-learning pack, and let me cross check with the management whether we can have a free day on coming Saturday, because that would be the final day before the exam, so that all the people can physically join us to discuss the final paper. Because for an example, tackling the paper is very much important. Okay, so tackling the paper is very much important to all of you, right? මොකද අපි උත්තර ලියන විදිය හුරු වෙන්න ඕනේ ඒ පැය තුන ඇතුළත. And apart from that, I wanted all of you to refer the video which I have done while getting entire AAT final AAT final subject to one frame. AAT final subject to one frame. So there is a what you called there is a video which has been uploaded in JMC website. Okay, so JMC website where I basically drafted the entire AAT final syllabus into one mind map. මුළු AT final auditing paper එකම මම තනි ඒ කියන්නේ auditing syllabus එකම තනි mind map එකකට ගත්තා. It has in both languages, Sinhala and English medium both. So I wanted all of you to refer that presentation quite frequently. Okay, so they have already shared if I'm not mistaken. Let me double click. Okay, just double click and see whether that is visible to all of you. Yes, this is the one. කවුද උදාහරණ මේක ෂෙයා කරේ? Okay.
Guys, concentrate on this. So this will give you a clear indication with regard to the entire.
Okay. So you can click this master mind map. So which in two languages, Sinhala and English both. So when you see, I have summarized the entire thing to one sheet. So basically, it's a massive short note where you can take that for your studies as well. Right. So anything else that you need to discuss before we wind up? More or less, the physical people are much more familiarized with my methodology, but I'm asking from the students who basically purchases the e-learning platform fully. Any questions? Can all of you see the link, and can all of you see the what do you call the presentation and the video? Okay, others? Right, okay. Fine, so let us conclude the session because it's almost 9 now. So again, I'm repeating this. You need to try this paper and contact me at any given point of time if you do have any clarification. So 24/7 into 365, these two phones are always open, and sometimes. Okay, could you share to the WhatsApp group, right? So let me ask the management to share it. So you're free to contact me at any given point of time, but there may be instances where you will be facing to a bit of a delay of replying me in the working hours, since I'm currently working in a conglomerate. So, but when the time permits, I'll reply to you, and you can talk to me and you can ask whatever the questions that you need to clarify or the concerns that you need to clarify with regard to this subject. So finally, I wish you all the very best, and hope to see you all of you at the chartered level if you are basically following chartered after AAT. Right. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, and I wish you all the very best.